Did you know that 80 to 90% of people who lose weight on a diet will usually gain it back within 1 to 5 years? In this video, I want to talk about the 3 reasons why people who lose weight normally gain it back. Welcome to the Focus Factor Podcast. This is where we empower parents to live purpose-driven lives and create an enduring legacy for their children, grandchildren, and future generations. I'm your host, Kade Magleby, and I am a passionate advocate for intentional living and parenting with purpose. I'm here to explore the journey of balancing faith, family, fitness, and finance. In each episode, we're going to explore practical tips, inspiring stories, and expert insights to help you overcome daily distraction and focus on what truly matters. My name is Kade Magleby, and I've lost over 35 pounds, and I've gained about 23 pounds of lean muscle mass. And I have struggled with my weight most of my life. And this is what motivated me to get a bachelor's degree in human nutrition. But what I have learned is that what we're being taught about diet and exercise is just not working. And this is why I'm here to seek better ways to lose fat and get in better shape. I want to start this video off with a quick story about one of my coworkers. He had an incredible transformation. He lost over 65 pounds doing a thing called the 75 Hard Challenge. For those of you who don't know, the 75 Hard method is an intense fitness and mental toughness program that involves following these strict rules for 75 days. And unfortunately for him, in just a few months after he completed the challenge, he gained most of that weight back. And I remember seeing him walking into work one day. He was carrying one of those big old Monster peach mango energy drinks, and in the other hand, he had one of those gas station donuts and a breakfast burrito. And I couldn't help but ask, what happened? What happened? We talked about his weight. And he told me that after that 75 Hard challenge, he found it super hard, incredibly hard to maintain that lifestyle. And he slowly slipped back into those old habits. And before you know it, the weight came back. And this got me thinking, why? Why is it so hard for people who struggle so hard to lose the weight? Why do they gain it back? Well, according to UCLA researchers, diets, normal diets, daily calorie deficit diets, generally do not result in long-term weight loss. They studied and analyzed 31 long-term diet studies, and they found that a significant number of the participants gained the weight back within 4 to 5 years. And I want to quote, "We found that the majority of people regained all the weight plus more. Sustained weight loss was found only in a small minority of participants, while complete weight regain was found in the majority. Diets do not lead to sustained weight loss or health benefits for the majority of the people." The researchers later suggest that dieting might not be effective for sustained weight loss, and it actually can have adverse health effects. In the summary of the article, they recommend that we need to focus on moderation in eating, and we need to have regular exercise for better health outcomes. If you want more information on this article, I'm going to put the link in the description of the video. Here's one reason why I believe it's really hard for us to keep the weight off once we lose it. This reason is called NEAT calories. NEAT, N-E-A-T, stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. NEAT calories is the energy we need to expand to do everything that isn't sleeping or eating or doing sports like exercises. This includes activities like walking, typing, gardening, cleaning, even fidgeting, getting in and out of your truck, walking to the grocery store. All of these things are NEAT calories. NEAT makes up a significant portion of our daily calorie expenditure. Typically, 15 to 30% of our calories are NEAT calories. And it depends on basically how active we are. This is the crazy part. When we lose weight, especially around the 10% body weight reduction mark, our NEAT calorie burn can be reduced by 10 to 20%. This happens because our bodies are pretty much smaller. Our bodies become more efficient and require less energy to perform the exact same activities. For example, the same exact person who's climbing stairs, he will require less energy when he weighs less compared to when he was heavier. It just makes sense. This decrease in calorie burn reduces the overall number of calories we need or use throughout the day. This is making it harder for us to lose weight, and often it ends up being a weight loss plateau. This reduction in neat calories is one of the main reasons why it's so challenging to get the weight off long term. You're burning fewer calories in your everyday activities, and it makes it so much easier to regain that weight that you lost. So to combat this, what can we do? Well, it's important to stay mindful of this daily activity, and we need to find ways to incorporate more movement into our day. Simple things like taking the stairs, walking during phone calls, or even setting reminders to get up and stretch. This boosts your neat calories and it will support your weight loss efforts. So the next reason for weight regain is this thing called insulin resistance. Most dieters never really reset their metabolic hormones of insulin and leptin. But let's first talk about insulin resistance and how insulin works in our bodies. So insulin is a hormone that regulates our blood sugar levels, and it helps transport glucose from our bloodstream into our cells for energy. When we eat carbohydrates or sugary foods, our blood sugars spike. Our body responds with an insulin response, and insulin is released to manage this influx of carbohydrates or glucose in our blood. So basically, this is how it works. First, there's our digestion. We digest these carbohydrates and are broken down into glucose. Then our cells need the energy, so insulin helps transport that glucose into our cells to be used for energy. What happens when we have an excess glucose in our blood? Well, the first thing that's going to happen is insulin is going to take that excess glucose and it's actually going to store it in our liver and our muscles as glycogen. Think about it this way. Our glycogen stores is like our wallet. We fill our wallet with just as much cash as we can, and then when we have too much cash in our wallet, where do we put it? We put it into our bank account. So once our wallet's full, our bank account is our fat storage. So again, insulin will take glucose and store it into our wallet or our glycogen stores. Once that's full, insulin is going to store it in our fat cells, our bank account, as fat. When we constantly eat multiple times a day, 4 or 5 times a day, our bodies are constantly being bombarded with insulin, and this leads to our body being a little more resistant, less sensitive, thus insulin resistance. This means our cells are less responsive, and it causes our bodies to produce even more insulin to manage these blood sugar levels. The excess insulin in our blood promotes that more fat storage, and it makes it harder for us to lose weight and keep it off. The next reason is what I call the vicious cycle of leptin resistance. So, leptin is another hormone produced in our fat cells. Each fat cell is like a little mini factory for leptin. And leptin helps regulate our energy balance by inhibiting our hunger. It's the feeling of full. When we feel full, it's because of our leptin. The more fat cells we put on our body should mean the more leptin we have. And this leptin will signal our brain that we should stop eating, that we feel full, we're good. However, just like insulin, when our bodies are constantly being fed, we're putting on more fat. Our leptin levels are rising. Our bodies become less sensitive. Thus, not only are we insulin resistant, but now we're in a state of leptin resistance as well. When you're leptin resistant, your brain doesn't get the signal you're full. Instead, it thinks, we need to keep eating. You continue to feel that slight hunger even after eating a big meal. This leads to overeating and weight gain because our brain is not working the way it should. This imbalance of leptin and insulin drives us to overeat, and it makes it incredibly difficult to maintain weight loss. This is why we could pound down a double patty cheeseburger, the large fries, the soda, and even finish off the milkshake. And even though we ate that many calories of like 1,200, 1,500 calories, we still feel hunger later that night, and we end up eating a leftover pizza in the middle of the night. This constant cycle of leptin and insulin levels out of balance is what's causing our bodies to keep putting on weight. And I want to make the argument that all other diets, daily calorie deficit diets, do not have that effect of resetting those metabolic hormones. So what can we do about this? What can we do about these metabolic hormones, about leptin and insulin resistance specifically? What can we do? Well, my dad's a pharmacist, and he taught me this strategy of what he calls a drug holiday. Basically, a drug holiday is when we take a medication consistently over time, our bodies get used to it, and our bodies are not as sensitive. The effect of the drug is not as effective as it used to be. And what we need to do is take a break, take a drug holiday. So, to reset our metabolic hormones, we need to take a drug holiday from constant eating and the insulin spikes. And one effective way to do this is through fasting. When you fast, you give your body a break. It takes a break from processing food, it takes a break from all those insulin responses, and it even takes a break from that leptin response that we're constantly getting. This allows our bodies to take short breaks from insulin and leptin. And over time, it will reset our leptin and insulin sensitivity. It helps our body become more responsive to these hormones. It reduces our hunger, and it prevents us from overeating. So here is the main message that I'm trying to say. We need to stop focusing on counting calories. We gotta stop worrying about the freaking calories. All of our doctors, nutritionists, and personal trainers have all taught us that we need to be in a calorie deficit. The energy in, energy out balance. We need to be in this calorie deficit. I'm here to argue that we need to stop that. We need to refocus ourselves on something else that matters. We need to refocus on resetting our metabolic hormones of leptin and insulin. And we need to create a sustainable lifestyle that helps us maintain this weight loss and overall health for the long term. I really hope this video has been helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And if you know someone who would benefit from this message, please share it with them. And like always, my name is Kade Magleby with Focus Factor. Thank you for watching this video. And always, please remember, focus on the things that truly matter.